You think dating is hard now. You choose the right photo, send the right message, wait the correct number of minutes before replying, and pretend you are casual while your nervous system watches for 3 dots on a screen. If it goes badly, you get ignored. You feel embarrassed. You delete the app and reinstall it like an adult. Now, remove all of that. No phone, no profile, no money, no car, no apartment, no restaurant, no private life where you can edit yourself into someone better. You're standing in a small band of ancient humans, your hair full of smoke, your skin marked with dirt, your stomach not quite full, and the person you want to impress is not wondering if you are funny over text. She is watching how you stand when the grass moves. She is watching whether you take more food than you bring back. She is asking the oldest dating question without saying a word. If I stay near you, do I survive longer or die faster? For most of human history, dating was not a market. It was a survival circle. Everyone in that circle could see you. Everyone knew who found water, who shared meat, who panicked in the dark, who stayed calm when a child cried, and who made noise when silence mattered. There was no edited version of you, no clever caption. Your reputation was built in public, one hungry day at a time. Right now, your reputation is not romantic. It is risky. You are not the strongest man in the group. You are not the best tracker. You are not the one mothers call when something moves outside the firelight. You are young enough to want attention, but not proven enough to deserve trust. You stand near the edge of camp, close enough to be seen, far enough that nobody has to make room for you. Around the fire, status is visible. The man who helped bring back meat gets a better place. The older woman who remembers where bitter roots grow is listened to. The quiet hunter with scars across his shoulder does not need to announce anything. His body is a record of problems survived. Then there is you. You pick up a spear and try to hold it like you have held it 1,000 times. You laugh when the other men laugh too loudly. You glance toward her, hoping she noticed, but she's not looking at the pose. She's looking at your grip, your feet, the gap between the man you are pretending to be and the man who will still be standing if something charges from the dark. That is the brutal part. She does not hate you. Hate would mean you mattered enough to become a problem. She simply has no reason yet to see you as a future. In the modern world, choosing the wrong person can mean wasted time, awkward dinners, and bad messages. Here, choosing badly can mean hunger, cold, slower travel, a child with less protection, a partner who freezes when predators come close, a man who creates danger and calls it courage. Before money, there were other currencies. Meat was currency. Fire was currency. Memory was currency. Knowing which plant is safe was currency. Calmness was currency. Sharing was currency. The ability to notice a broken branch before everyone walks into trouble was currency, and you have almost none of it yet. So you start as a liability, not because you are worthless, but because you are untested. You have hunger, you have pride, you have a desperate wish to be seen. But the ancient world does not reward wishes, it rewards proof. Can you find water? Can you carry weight? Can you stay quiet? Can your presence make the fire circle feel safer? The next morning, you decide the problem is visibility. If she doesn't see your value, you will make it impossible to miss. This is the first mistake. Ancient life is not kind to men who confuse attention with value. Attention can come from saving the group, but it can also come from making everyone wonder why you are holding a spear like a confused tree branch. A small hunting party leaves camp before the sun is high. You join because staying behind feels like admitting what everyone suspects. Ahead of you, the real hunters move slowly. They do not waste motion. They do not talk unless they need to. One man raises 2 fingers and everyone stops. Another studies a print in the mud and reads more from that shape than you could from a speech. You try to copy them. You lower your shoulders. You narrow your eyes. You hold your spear tighter because tighter feels stronger, even though it only makes your arms stiff. In your head, this is the day the story changes. You will come back with meat over your shoulder. The woman by the fire will look at you differently. Then the animal appears. Not huge, not legendary, just a nervous shape moving through brush, enough meat to matter if the group does this right. The hunters spread without speaking. You should wait, you should watch, but waiting feels invisible, and invisibility is what you are trying to kill. So you step forward, one step too early, one step too loud. A dry branch cracks under your foot like a thunderclap. The animal's head snaps up. For one frozen second, everything looks at you. Then it bolts. The hunter beside you lunges to fix your mistake. Another throws too quickly and misses. The clean plan becomes noise, and noise is expensive. By the time the group stops running, the animal is gone, and one hunter has blood on his leg because you wanted to be seen. Nobody shouts at first. That is worse. Silence means they are updating your value. They are not thinking, he is brave. They are thinking, he is hungry and dangerous at the same time. This is the part you did not understand. In a world, this brutal, random risk is not attractive. A man who charges first is only impressive if he knows when to charge, where to step, and what his mistake will cost everyone else. Courage without competence is not courage to people who must survive beside you. It is a threat with legs. When you return to camp, the failure arrives before you do. Small groups do not need gossip. They have eyes. They see the empty hands. They see the blood. The woman you wanted to impress looks once, then looks at the injured man. That small turn of her head does more damage than laughter. You imagine she would notice your bravery. Instead, she notices your cost. You did not bring meat. You brought risk. You did not prove you could protect future children. You proved you might make them hungrier. You did not rise in the circle. You made the circle less safe. That night, you sit farther from the fire than you wanted. Nobody orders you away. Space opens and closes around reputation. You hear your name once, not with anger, but with assessment. That is worse than insult. Assessment is practical. For the first time, the truth gets through your pride. You cannot perform your way into being chosen. The ancient world does not reward the man who wants to look useful. It rewards the man who becomes useful. After the failed hunt, you stop trying to look important. That is the first useful thing you do. For a few days, you say less. You watch more. You notice that the strongest men are not respected only because they are strong. They are respected because strength is attached to skill. They know where to place their feet when wind carries scent toward the herd, and which silence means every bird noticed something you missed. So you begin learning the real currency of the ancient world. Not coins, not clothes, not a title. Skill, memory, calmness, usefulness, the ability to turn a small sign into one more day alive. An older woman shows you a plant that fills a stomach and another that twists it into pain. An old man presses your fingers into a track and makes you feel the difference between fresh and old. None of this feels heroic. You are not dragging a giant animal back to camp while everyone chants your name. You are learning where dry wood hides after rain, how smoke moves before weather changes, how to sit still long enough for the forest to forget you are there. In a world without books, knowledge lives inside people. The person who remembers water during a dry week is valuable. One afternoon, the group returns from a failed hunt. Empty hands, tight faces. A child starts crying because children do not understand strategy. They understand hunger. You feel the old urge to perform, to say something, to make yourself bigger. But this time, you do something smaller. You remember. After the rain, you saw a soft ground near a fallen tree. You saw birds picking there more than once. You think there may be roots, not enough to make anyone cheer, enough to matter. You lead two others back quietly. They watch you like they expect another mistake. You kneel. You dig with a sharpened stick. The dirt is wet under the top layer. Then your hand closes around something solid, a root, then another. Not a feast, not romance, but food. When you return, nobody treats you like a legend, but the food is divided. The child eats. An older woman nods once. The hunter with the scar says nothing, but he does not look away as quickly, and she sees it. The woman by the fire sees that you did not create noise this time. You brought something back, small, dirty, and real. That is the moment your value changes, not because you became powerful, because you became useful. Before money, usefulness was wealth. Before status symbols, reliability was status. Before romantic speeches, there was a much older language. I noticed, I remembered, I carried, I shared. I didn't make the danger worse. The next days build slowly. You help repair a spear point without being asked. You give a child the softer piece of root and do not announce it. You stop laughing too loudly. You stop standing where better hunters need space. The tribe is always measuring, but not with cruelty. It measures because measurement keeps people alive. And now, when you sit near the fire, she does not immediately turn away. She does not move closer yet, but her eyes stay on you half a breath longer than before. In the ancient world, that is not nothing. That is information. You are still not chosen, but you have crossed the first invisible line. You are no longer only hunger and pride. You are becoming a person who can hold knowledge, carry weight, and reduce the cost of tomorrow. In a small tribe, usefulness travels fast, and for the first time, your name can travel without shame. Night is when the ancient world changes owners. During the day, you can pretend humans are in charge. You walk upright, follow tracks, gather roots, throw stones, and act like the land is something your tribe understands. But when the sun drops, confidence leaves with it. The trees become walls. Every sound grows teeth. The fire is small tonight. Wood has been damp for days, and the best pieces were burned before sunset. Around the flames, bodies curl close together. Children sleep first because children can fall asleep inside. Fear if the adults pretend well enough. The hunters lie near the edge of the circle. The older ones sleep lightly, like people who have survived too many nights to trust darkness. And then there is you, awake. Maybe it is your turn. Maybe nobody gave you the job, but you saw the fire shrinking and understood that usefulness sometimes begins when no one is watching. The coals pulse red under gray ash. Sleep pulls at your head. Your back hurts from sitting on cold ground. Part of you wants to lie down and let someone else be responsible for the dark. But the fire cannot take care of itself. In this world, fire is not decoration. It is heat, protection, cooked food, light, and memory in one place. It is the difference between a group and scattered animals. If the fire dies, the night moves closer, so you feed it carefully. Not too much. Wood is limited, not too little. Darkness is patient. You push one dry branch into the coals and blow until sparks climb upward. Smoke stings your eyes. You blink hard, trying not to cough, trying not to wake everyone. Panic spreads faster than flame. Then you hear it. Not loud. That makes it worse. A soft drag beyond the edge of the light. Leaves pressed under weight. A pause. Another step. Your mouth dries. Your fingers tighten around the stick in your hand, which suddenly feels less like a weapon and more like a joke made by a tree. Across the fire, she is asleep near the children. For one sharp second, you want her to wake and see you. Then you hate yourself for wanting that, because this is not a performance. This is when performance gets people killed. You look toward the hunters. One is close enough. You could shout and turn fear into chaos. Instead, you move slowly. You add another branch. The flame rises. The darkness pulls back, and in that new edge of light, you see two low reflections. Eyes, hyena, leopard, maybe nothing you can name. It does not matter. Fear travels through your spine, but this time it does not take your hands with it. You tap the nearest hunter's ankle. Once, then again. He wakes without a sound. His eyes follow yours. He understands. Now there are two of you awake. Then three. No shouting. No wasted movement. The fire grows. A hunter lifts a spear. You keep feeding the flame. Not to be the strongest, not to rush into the dark, to keep the line between your people and everything outside bright enough. The eyes remain. Then they shift, fade, disappear. Only after the danger leaves do you notice she is awake. She is not smiling. But she has seen enough. She has seen your fear, and more importantly, she has seen that your fear did not make you useless. You did not freeze. You stayed near the fire and made the circle safer. By morning, nobody makes a speech. But when food is divided, your portion does not feel like an accident. When people sit, the space near the fire opens differently. And when she sits close enough that you notice the warmth beside you, you understand the change. Not chosen yet, not claimed, but no longer dismissed. In the ancient world, trust does not arrive as a declaration. It arrives as distance changing around you. After the fire test, nothing changes all at once. There is no confession under the moon, no perfect line. The change is smaller, which makes it more real. She sits closer than before. When food is passed, her hand does not avoid yours. When you return with scratches on your arm, she looks at the wound before she looks away. These are not modern romantic signals. They are older than romance. They mean, I have noticed you. You're safer to stand near. Weeks pass in small proofs. You learn to repair a spear point without cutting your hand open. You learn which children wander too close to the brush. You learn when an old man is speaking slowly because he is wise, and when he is thirsty and too proud to ask. You carry wood. You share food when your own stomach argues against it. You stop trying to be the center of the circle and become one of the reasons the circle holds. This matters more than strength alone. A violent man can frighten people for a day. A reliable man can help them survive a season. In a world where infants are helpless for years, where a pregnant woman moves slower, where injury can turn a hunter into a burden overnight, a mate is not just a body beside you. A mate is a future risk calculation. Human babies are expensive, not in money, but in food, time, protection, attention, and sleep. So when she begins walking near you during a move between camps, it is not random. When she lets you carry something that matters, it is not nothing. When she takes a piece of cooked root from your hand and stays beside the fire instead of drifting away, the whole tribe sees it, even if nobody says it. Small groups do not need announcements. They read distance. They read who shares shade. They read who laughs quietly at whose words. And you understand something you would not have understood at the start. Being chosen is not the reward for looking powerful. It is the result of being trusted repeatedly. Hunger tested whether you would take more than you gave. Fear tested whether you would become useless. Shame tested whether you would learn or only perform. The fire tested whether you could stay awake when everyone else needed darkness to stay outside the circle. Now, when she sits near you, the feeling is not victory. It is responsibility. She is not choosing a fantasy version of you. She is choosing the version the tribe has watched under pressure. The one who failed, learned, carried, shared, and did not run when the night looked back. This is why dating as an ancient human was brutal. It was also honest in a way modern dating almost never is. Today, people can decorate themselves with photos, filters, cars, clothes, captions, and little performances of confidence. Back then, the performance died quickly. The forest checked it, hunger checked it, the fire checked it. Your value was not what you claimed. It was what remained after fear entered the camp. And maybe that old question never fully disappeared. Your modern world changed the clothing around it. You call it chemistry, compatibility, standards, red flags. But somewhere under the language, your body still listens for the ancient answer. Does this person make life lighter or heavier? Do they stay calm when pressure comes? Do they share when nobody praises them? Do they disappear when the fire gets low? At the start, you thought you were trying to find a mate. But what you were really trying to become was someone worth choosing when the world goes dark. Long before love songs, wedding rings, dating apps, and dinner reservations, attraction may have begun with something much simpler, much harsher, and much more human. I trust you near the fire.